tonight.
Wale watu wa kuzimia baada hawajasikia ni maandamano ama maendeleo?
President William Ruto faults Raila over threats to return to mass action, says the government will not allow Kenyans to be subjected to protests again.
The names of the following members to lead the deliberations on behalf of the coalition.
Also tonight, Azimio leader names 7-member team on IEBC reconstitution bipartisan talks.
Munasema iko hadi kama hakuna.
This as DP Gachagua urges Raila to embrace the bipartisan process.
Wakashambulia hawa, kapikwa risasi.
Plus, 5 people dead following West Pokot bandit attack.
Hatuna amani sasa, hiyo ndio sijui tufanye nini.
Residents now want the government to halt the security operation in the area.
Kwamba bilimsababishia majeraha ya kudumu Brighton Junior Sagini kwa kutoa macho yake mawili.
You have a case to answer. Court rules that suspects linked to baby Sagini torture have a case to answer. The suspects now face charges of causing grievous bodily harm. Welcome back to the broadcast. The hashtag is News Tonight. TV47's News Tonight begins right away. It's always good that you interact with us. Once again, the hashtag is TV47's News Tonight at Linda_Lela TV47KE across all our social media platforms. We sample some of your comments as we continue with the broadcast. The sign language interpreter is Catherine Simalawi. And to start us off, days after President William Ruto seemingly read from the same page with Azimio leader Raila Odinga, there seems to be a change on tune as Odinga issued fresh demands to President William Ruto. This as Kenya Kwanza leaders maintain their hardline stance on bipartisan approach. Flora Limuki reports on the back and forth in process that could either heal or destroy the nation.
Wale watu wa kuzimia baada hawajasikia ni maandamano ama maendeleo?
President William Ruto has told off Azimio leader Raila Odinga for threatening to return to mass action. Ruto says that Kenyans should not be subjected to demonstrations on issues that can be addressed in Parliament. This even as Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua maintained that the government will protect Kenyans against looters and ensure safety of all Kenyans and their properties.
Nyinyi kama viongozi tuendeni kule bunge, twende tuongee maneno ya viongozi kule bunge. Hakuna haja ya kuharibu biashara ya mwananchi. Hakuna haja ya kusumbua wananchi wakiwa katika biashara zao. Hakuna haja ya kulete vita. Hakuna haja ya kulete fujo. Hakuna haja ya kuharibu mali ya watu. Wale walio viongozi tumewalipa mshahara, wabunge wako bunge wazungumzie mambo ya kubadilisha sheria ile inataka kubadilishwa.
Gachagua has maintained that there will be no coalition government in Kenya as he called on opposition leaders to embrace the bipartisan process proposed by President William Ruto.
Ati mimi nakataa handshake. Mimi sikatai. Mimi ni mtu ya kuandikwa kazi na hawa ndio wameniajiri kazi. Na lazima ufanye vile tajiri yako anasema. Munasema iko handshake kama hakuna.
Wasijaribu kusema Ruto rais wa Kenya Kwanza na sera za Kenya Kwanza, awachane na sera za Kenya Kwanza, atekeleze sera za Azimio.
Leaders allied to the Kenya Kwanza coalition have rubbished Raila Odinga's call for national accord, saying that only bipartisan approach will be used to solve the standoff between the opposition and the ruling government.
Ati kama iko mkata inakatwa, hiyo mkata iko na William Ruto na Rigathi Gachagua. Kisu ni mimi nimeshika na siachili.
Ile maandamano wanajigamba wataanza. Sisi we are busy demonstrating the capacity of the people of Kenya. Wao waendelee na maandamano na demonstrations zao. Na niwaambia hivi, wajaribu watafuta mtu mwingine wa kutisha. Wametisha hapo mbele watu ya Serelak. Huyo sio wa Serelak.
The leaders have reiterated that no intimidation will derail the government's development agenda and that their focus is on improving the lives of Kenyans. Flora Limuki, TV47.
And in the same breath, the Azimio coalition has unveiled a 7-member team to represent the opposition in the bipartisan talks with Kenya Kwanza. A new team comprising of 3 senators and 4 members of the National Assembly was endorsed during the coalition's PG in Machakos County, chaired by the party leader Raila Odinga. The new team comes as hardliners maintain their stand on terms of reference for the bipartisan approaches. Apollo Kamau reports.
Almost there, but not yet. Azimio Coalition took its first step toward President William Ruto's call for bipartisan talks by unveiling a 7-member team ahead of Kenya Kwanza's similar venture on Tuesday next week.
I want to thank you in a special way.
The opposition bipartisan team is largely composed of hardliners and coalition leader Raila Odinga's allies, among them Kalonzo's ally Kitui Senator Enoch Wambua.
We have absolute faith with the team and ask that every member of the coalition to give them the necessary support.
And is largely made up of legal minds. The team has 3 senators, Narok Senator Ledama Olekina, Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, and Kitui Senator Enoch Wambua. In the National Assembly, Malindi MP Amina Munyazi, Suba North MP Millie Odhiambo, Rarieda MP Otiende Amolo, and South Pokot MP David Kosing passed the test of the PG meeting that endorsed them to face Kenya Kwanza.
When you get out there, as Mother said the other day in another forum, and we see your body language is changing, we'll recall you.
Azimio has further issued conditions before the talks can commence, telling Kenya Kwanza to reduce the cost of maize flour, fuel, and electricity or face protest.
We go into these talks convinced that some issues, in particular, lowering the price of food, is urgent, can't wait, and does not even need the talks.
In what is likely to be a major test for President William Ruto, Odinga has now set terms of reference for the bipartisan talks, among them a forensic audit of last year's presidential election, review of the appointment and dismissal of IEBC commissioners. With the process of picking IEBC commissioners having taken off, Azimio wants the bipartisan team to review the circumstances that led to the dismissal of Cherera 4 and reinstate them to office.
Parliament currently, by unorthodox means, is controlled by the Kenya Kwanza regime.
We go into these negotiations holding a firm belief that our cause is just, our intentions are pure, and our goal is patriotic.
In what is likely to lead to key changes to the law, Azimio further wants the bipartisan team to review and recommend changes to the law that MPs who cross party lines after elections be forced to seek fresh mandates, while giving political parties powers to replace nominated MPs who cross party lines. The new polls team will also be on the spot after Azimio proposed a review on whether they should serve on a permanent basis and whether the commission's mandate should be devolved. Azimio wants the bipartisan team to hand over its report after 30 days after establishment. Naming the team for the bipartisan process is the easiest part, but the hard part begins given the terms of reference issued by Azimio and the conditions that have been set out as both sides continue to maintain hardline positions. Apol Kamau, TV47 in Machakos County.
Now, the hardline stance witnessed between the government and the opposition leaders on the reconstitution of Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC selection panel has elicited mixed reactions from both Azimio as well as Kenya Kwanza leaders, with all players maintaining hardline stance. However, what is the bipartisan process and what are the details to the bipartisan approach? Micah Gungo takes us through the process.
President William Ruto's bipartisan approach to address the issues raised by the opposition leader Raila Odinga in IEBC reconstitution may have reduced the political heat witnessed in the country occasioned by Odinga's mass action that led to destruction of properties and to an extent loss of lives. Odinga has since issued fresh demands for President William Ruto. Some of Odinga's demands include wholesome talks, as was the case in 2008, inclusion of all core principles of both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza coalitions, inclusion of a mediator like was the case of Kofi Annan in 2008, withdrawing all cases against Azimio supporters arrested during the 2-week protest, and compensating all who were injured during the demos. Further, Odinga called for parties outside parliament to be involved in talks on electoral reforms and the high cost of living.
Mimi nataka niwaambie ndugu zetu.
This as President William Ruto insists the bipartisan protest will take place in parliament. Ruto maintained that despite the efforts to calm the storm, there will be no handshake at the end of the day. All agreements between the two must align with the 2010 constitution and negotiations to be done through both Senate and National Assemblies. Ruto also said he still has no connection with the IEBC servers as opposed to Odinga's demands to open the server. In a democratic country, the head of state said there must be an active opposition and a working government. On issues to do with IEBC, the opposition leader Raila Odinga wants the centralized national elections management system scrapped and the country to adopt the county-based regional arrangement akin to the United States style.
We go into these negotiations holding the firm belief that our cause is just, our intentions are pure, and our goal is patriotic. We go into these talks convinced that some issues, in particular, lowering the price of food, is urgent, can't wait, and does not even need the talks.
According to Odinga, if the electoral body is devolved into regions or counties, it would increase credibility and transparency, unlike the current situation where it is centralized.
Review the appointment and dismissal of IEBC commissioners, including their tenure of office, and recommend institutional, policy, legal, and constitutional mechanisms restructuring and reforms of the IEBC.
He also proposed that the political parties need to be allowed to second their members to be part of the electoral agency. The matters discussed during the PG meeting on Thursday, ODM leader said will be put on the table during dialogue with the Kenya Kwanza government. During his visit to Kigali, Rwanda on Tuesday, President William Ruto reiterated his position for the talks to be held within parliament in a bipartisan manner. But Odinga wants talks similar to those that ended post-election violence in 2008 and ushered in a national unity government. Failure to meet their demands, Raila said the team will not hesitate to mobilize Kenyans to demand their rights within the framework of Article 37 of the Constitution. Mike Kagwongo, TV 47, Nairobi.
Well, thank you, Mike Kagwongo, for helping us unpack that. Now we shift gears and away from politics to a rather unfortunate story. Tonight, West Pokot is bleeding again after 5 people were shot dead by suspected bandits at Lami Nyeusi area along the Kainuk Road in the border of West Pokot and Turkana counties. West Pokot County Commissioner Paulo Okelo has condemned the incident, saying more police stations will be built in the area to deal with the runaway insecurity in the area. This as residents called on the government to halt the security operations in the area, saying it has not benefited them in any way. This story was produced by Andrew Juma.
At around 2 a.m. in the morning on Thursday, 5 people were ambushed, shot and killed by suspected bandits who drove away with more than 100 goats at Lami Nyeusi area in Kainuk in the border of West Pokot and Turkana counties.
Wakafika hapa sehemu hili, wametoa mbuzi upande wa chini. Wakafika hapa, wakakuta watu wanalala. So mbuzi walipomsumbua hawa, wakaingia hapa, wakaona kuna watu. Wakashambulia hawa, wakapigwa risasi hawa watu wanne kwa hapa. Hapo kuna mmoja upande wa chini ambapo alikuwa analala, akapigwa risasi pale kukimbia hivi, akapatana wengine. Kuna mama mwingine alikuwa analala na yeye, akapigwa risasi kwa upande ule kichwa, lakini yeye hako hai, lakini hawa watano wakaenda.
Locals here are now living in fear, calling on the government to suspend the ongoing operation, saying it has not borne any fruits.
So tunaambia waziri wa usalama ambaye ni Kindiki kwamba angalia sehemu hili, hata tunatamani kwanza wewe ufike upande huu tulale tukuje maji uone utamu wa eneo hili, lakini unatumiwa na watu wachache katika serikali wako ya kwamba Wapokot ni wabaya. Sisi si wabaya.
Tunaomba serikali ya kwamba tukuje atusaidie, serikali ya kuishi jioni pia, na kama sio hakuna serikali sijui tutaenda kivipi na sijui tutaenda namna gani.
West Pokot leaders including the County Commissioner Apollo Kelo, Deputy Governor Robert Komole condemned the incident, urging locals to remain calm.
Kwa sababu sisi tunajua kama tunaishi na watu kama Turkana, hawajifanyia makosa. Wenye wako na makosa ni wenye wako hapa boda hapa, si wenye wako ndani. Kama ni mwalimu anafanya kazi West Pokot, mtu anaendelea na kazi yake. Lakini kwa nini wanafukuza mwalimu anafanya kazi huko Turkana? Anafanya kazi Lodwar. Wanatafuta kutaka kumaliza yeye, kutoa yeye maisha. Kwa sababu gani?
Viongozi kutoka Turkana wanaongea mambo ya kuchochea vita, lakini hakuna hatua serikali ya Kenya inawachukulia. Lakini wacha kiongozi kutoka West Pokot aongee tu neno moja, hata kama anahamasisha amani, lakini bado anachukuliwa enda ripoti pale kwa DCI.
The incident comes amid an ongoing operation to flush out the bandits by the KDF and police officers in the area.
Tuko na wasiwasi, hata njaa imetushinda, kila kitu, hata maji, kiu, hatuna amani. Sasa hiyo ndio sijui tufanye nini.
Moige William, TV47.
Now, the counties continue to face cash crunch, unable to cater for salaries for their workers, even as Treasury insists it is broke and unable to disburse counties' fund on time, according to Kakamega Governor Fernandez Baraza, who doubles up as the finance chair in Council of Governors. The National Treasury owes the devolved units 98 billion shillings, noting that Treasury has not disbursed any monies to the counties since January. He says the county governments have been forced to scale down their day-to-day operations to deal with situations. And of course, here is Elizabeth Mutuku with the details.
The county governments that...
Speaking when he appeared before the Senate Finance and Budget Committee, Kakamega Governor Fernandez Baraza, who also chairs Finance Committee in the Council of Governors, told senators that the cash crunch witnessed in the counties continues to halt development programs as well as daily operations, with county workers going for months without salaries. The Kakamega County boss insisting that national government has neglected counties.
As you rightly put it, the national government, they don't delay to pay their employees, and county government, we are now forced to come up with innovative ways of well, yeah, of course it has to come with a cost, just to see how we can pay employees. So far we have not received monies for January, February and March, almost 96 billion Kenya shillings. The worst comes with even the county assemblies, where they expect when you receive the money for December, you pay them up to.
Senators are now piling pressure on Treasury to release funds to counties to save the situation in the counties, with the legislators led by Senate Majority Whip Senator Boni Khalwale expressing fear of renewed devolution setbacks that may cripple the counties forever.
Governor, I want to register my sympathies with all the 47 governors. I don't know how you go to the office. How can you sit in the office when you have not paid employees for 3 months?
I wonder if your support team, have you been paid for the last 3 months? You know, you might not answer, but I put myself in that shoe. Then why us at the national level? Then why are we being paid? If our people at the county have not, it's actually quite a sad state, and we need to come further together and say, let money go to the counties. We support you in this.
To sink in the heads of everybody in COG, we want devolution to thrive, and we are here, mandated constitutionally, to support devolution. not by choice, not a favor. It's a legal mandate, So interact more, share concerns from point of information directly through your senators at the county. Then they can cascade it to the Senate or through various committees that are in existence.
Treasury PS Dr. Chris Kiptoo earlier last week told senators that the Treasury has no monies and not only counties are affected by the current situation. According to Kiptoo, the monies collected by KRA, a huge chunk, caters for debt.
The measures we are taking will help us to now make sure we have enough to pay and on time. And that's why I didn't want to say by when, because it's not, I'm not able to say by in the next 1 week or 2 weeks, but I know that soon as possible is not very far from now.
Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, Kisii Senior Resident Magistrate Christine Oweno has ruled that the 3 suspects were accused of gouging baby Junior Sagini's eyes have a case to answer. The suspect, Pacifica Nyakirario, who is baby Sagini's grandmother, Alex Ochogo, and Rael Nyakirario declined to testify on the oath, saying they had no witnesses or witness to present during the defense hearing. Andrin Kilemi with the details.
3 suspects in the case of baby Sagini, a 3-year-old boy whose eyes were gouged out, have a case to answer. This is according to Senior Resident Magistrate at the Kisii Law Court, Christine Oweno.
They don't understand Kiswahili. Someone to translate?
The magistrate observed that the court arrived at the decision to put them on the defense, owing to the findings from the testimony of 10 witnesses. She cited the court's observations from the lawyers' cross-examinations on witnesses, a visit to the crime scene, and oral submissions. The 3 suspects faced charges for causing bodily harm to Junior Sagini by allegedly gouging his eyes out at Ikuruma Village, Marani Sub-County in December last year.
Mulikuwa mmeshtakiwa na kosa la kusababisha majeraha ya kudumu kwamba tarehe 13 na 14 ya Disemba mwaka uliopita pale Ikuruma location Marani Sub-County jijini Kisii, kwamba mlimsababishia majeraha ya kudumu Brighton Junior Sagini kwa kutoa macho yake mawili. Nimezingatia ushahidi upande wa mashtaka ambao waliweza kuita mashahidi 10 kuiunga kesi yao. Pia nimeweza kuzingatia yale maelezo ambayo iliweza kujitokeza wakati mawakili wenu wakiweza kuwahoji wale mashahidi.
The 3 suspects who pleaded not guilty are expected to present their witnesses on the 28th of April during their defense hearing. The 3 suspects include baby Sagini's grandmother Pacifica Nyakirario, Alex Chogo, and Rachel Nyakirario. Andrin Kilemi, TV47.
And now to a story of mistaken identity. The body of a 108-year-old granny, Elizabeth Wairimu, was Thursday exhumed in Kandara, Muranga County after it was buried in the wrong grave on the 29th of March this year. Wairimu's body was buried in Kibiku area in a place of 78-year-old Lydia Mudhoni. The confusion happened at the Gaishanjiro Mission Hospital mortuary. The latter's family moved in to pick a body they believed was their loved one's body. Moige William reports.
It's been 9 days since the family conducted a burial ceremony for a person they believed was their loved one, only to be informed that it was a case of mistaken identity and they buried the wrong body. The family of 78-year-old Lydia Mudhoni went back to the fresh graveyard site. Armed with shovels, with the help of friends, the soil covering the graveyard was dug out to exhume the body of 106-year-old Elizabeth Wairimu, who was mistakenly buried in place of Mudhoni. Hours later, a white casket was pulled out of the graveyard. The family of the late Mudhoni on the 29th of March had picked the wrong body from Gaishanjiro Mission Hospital mortuary, which they thought was their grandmother's. It all dawned on the family after one of Modoni's daughter was informed of the mix-up that had occurred at the mortuary during the pickup of the body, which later the family expeditiously sought for permission to exhume the body of Wairimu. The funeral home was helpful in resolving the matter. Muige William, TV 47.
And after 2-day visits to Rwanda, President William Ruto is back in the country with a day full of activities. The head of state toured the counties of Kwale, Nyahururu and Nakuru, where he launched the several development projects, as Chichi Josephine details.
President William Ruto on Thursday launched the long-awaited 25 billion shillings Mwache multi-purpose dam project in Kwale County, a project that has been delayed for 5 years. President Ruto revealed that upon its completion, the project will diminish reliance on rain-fed agriculture and sustainably provide water to irrigate at least 7,000 acres of land and improve agriculture in the region.
We are going to deliver water for irrigation from this dam in the next 36 months, and I want a forward planning process between the county and our ministry so that that irrigation component is actualized and we can be able to stabilize the food situation in Kwale County.
The 18 billion shillings project, financed by the government of Kenya and the World Bank, according to the president, will supply more than 230 liters of water a day for both irrigation and domestic use, benefiting at least 1.6 million people in Kwale and Mombasa counties.
Na tunataka hiyo maji iwezeshe sisi tuwapatie maji watu wa Taveta, watu wa Undani, watu wa Voi, watu wa Mwatate, na iteremke chini tuwapatie watu wa Kwale na watu wa Kilifi kwa sababu ni maji mengi.
The president also commissioned the upgrading of the Captain Demi Wanjohi Kwamatu Geta Kahuruko Ndunyunjeru Road in Nyandarua County.
Watu wa Nyandarua hamjambo.
The road, he said, will serve the locals widely and will open more doors for businesses and jobs in the area.
Ndio tumefika hapa leo kwa sababu tumerudi kwa ile kazi ambayo tunajua ya kupeleka mambo ya maendeleo katika taifa letu la Kenya mbele.
Si barabara ilikuwa imeleta shida, si sasa itafanywa? Rais, tunaomba vile tumeona hiyo tinga imeweka jembe chini na vile umepromise isiindue hiyo jembe mpaka hii barabara imalizike, ndio hawa wananchi wafurahie.
In Nakuru County, during the commissioning of Njoro Sweet Road, President William Ruto said the government has prioritized the construction and expansion of dams to rebuild agriculture, as well as add more housing projects that will offer employment to all youth in Nakuru County.
Nilikuwa na rais wa kutoka kule Italia ambao ndio walikuwa wametupatia pesa ya kufanya hiyo damu. Sasa mambo nimerekebisha, mambo iko sawa sawa. Hiyo damu tutakuja tuikamilishe na mpate maji.
Itale damu ikianza, Your Excellency, Nakuru sasa itakuwa sawa na itaendelea kuwa food basket ya this area and for the country.
Chichi Josephine, TV 47.
Now, the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife Heritage has said that the Kenyan economy can be unlocked by exploiting the resources available in the country. Speaking during the commissioning of Ushanga Kenya Initiative Committee in Nairobi today, the CS Penina Malonza said the Kenya Kwanza government is committed to implementing its manifesto on the bottom-up economic model that prioritizes empowering the hustlers within the local communities. The committee will help in sourcing for fair prices, promoting gender equality, as well as looking for markets for Ushanga products.
Ushanga Kenya success is a true testimony of the model that integrates communities into tourism value chain while addressing leakages of tourism revenues from the destination. The women of Ushanga Kenya have been able to create a sustainable business model by working together and using their skills to create high quality handcrafts, jewelry and accessories.
Having a partnership with the county government
The Waziri will talk more on that. And mine is just to promise that no county will be left behind.
We are so grateful that as Ushanga Kenya initiative, we've been put into a platform where we can be able to do our work and we can be able to take this milestone, this step that is going to help us to run far and wide and protecting the work that the women are doing.
Well, 28 minutes past the top of the hour. We still have so much lined up for you. So we take a quick short breather. Do not go anywhere.
Wakati mwingine kama weekend, mimi najiachilia.
Hata ukumbuki history. Nikifika watu wangu watu wakinipokea na kupokeleka. Umeset the mood. Nimeset the mood. Naweza kupokeleka. Nikitumai kwamba mzima popote pale ulipo, nikikukaribisha katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi. Jina langu Elizabeth Mutuku. Katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi tunakupa nafasi kutangamana nao kila siku ya Alhamisi kuanzia saa 1:30 kuendelea siku nyingine. Tutapatana papa hapa umjue kiongozi mwingine.
Jiunge nasi toka hapa hadi ufuoni mwa bahari. Meli yetu itakapotua nanga kwa uhondo ribo ya riwaya hii Mwisho wa Kosa. Monica.
It's early morning in Maralal. Start your morning informed, educated, entertained, and above all, know your country. From the beautiful plains of Samburu County to the skyscrapers of Nairobi, Morning Cafe certainly got you covered. Indeed, a beautiful place to watch and certainly a moment of understanding and knowing your country. Indeed, to the remotest part of every county. Join me, Linda Alela, every weekday from 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
The diversity of Kenya's wildlife has garnered international fame.
This is pellets that we give to the tourists, the giraffes. We ration because we don't want the giraffes to eat too much of this. We want them to have more of the natural browse.
We may not always get the opportunity to go out to see the wildlife, but you'll never miss the opportunity to see it from the comfort of your couch.
This is home to animals that have been found out there either injured, abandoned, or confiscated from people who are holding them illegally.
Only on TV47 Wildlife, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m.
Disability is a club that anyone can join.
I live with special needs. It means I have a limitation. There are things I can't be able to do personally myself.
And in our journey to talk about disability, we tell the stories of those with disabilities and even sit with specialists to understand what it means for those affected directly and indirectly.
Everybody's life, mine has also been faced with ups and downs.
If it becomes a self-stigmatized thing where you feel like you are judging yourself too harsh, you blame yourself, and you perceive that it happened because you failed.
Join me, Zainab Mohammed, on Beyond the Limit every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
An entrepreneur is defined as someone who has the ability and desire to establish, administer, and succeed in a startup venture along with the risks entitled to it to make profits.
I'm a professional financial with a professional paper in banking. However, for fashion, it's something I've always loved ever since I was small.
Started as a baby business. It was all about, you have your machines, the haircuts, wear the heads, bring the scalps.
We wanted something that would remind us about prayer every now and then. So the moment you mention Talit, we always think about prayer because Talit Cakes is founded on prayer.
Get to learn more about these entrepreneurs and what makes them stand out in their field every Monday at 6:30 p.m. only on The Grind.
The Realtor, this is where we travel, move far and wide just to make sure that we bring you what it all entails when it comes to matters real estate.
Buying off plan is the best thing that you can do because it gets to be a journey that is even affordable and flexible.
Visit there, go down, go see what kind of production.
Well, thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. This is News Tonight right here on TV47. And to more news, days after stampede ensued during the issuance of bursary reforms at Githurai area, Kiambu County. Accused of desperate constituents seeking to benefit were witnessed. Residents on the populous constituencies queued from as early as 4 a.m. seeking a share of the bursary kitty. Over 70,000 residents with boarding school-going children have already applied to benefit from the kitty, while day scholars, who are the majority, are expected to have the kitty credited in their respective school accounts. According to some of the potential beneficiaries who are waiting to be granted the crucial forms, the constituency has been getting a raw deal when it comes to resources allocation owing to its huge population. The 2019 national census has enumerated the population of the busy town at 490,120. A figure that Area Member of Parliament Simon Kingara says has since increased to about 700,000 residents.
Nilikuja kama nimechelewa kidogo juu sikuwa nafikiria tunapanga laini, nilikuwa nafikiria ni ile tu kung'ang'ana, lakini leo nimeona kumekuwa na tumepanga laini na laini inaenda vizuri, na niko nyuma kidogo but natarajia nitapata tu, niko na matumaini nitapata juu huku huwezi kosa.
Nafurahia juu ya Kingara juu ya kupata basari. Na tulikuja asubuhi, venye ulikuja asubuhi ndio unapata basari form. Sasa na watu walikuja mapema, kuna watu walikuja saa 9 na sisi tumekuja tumechelewa, ndio maana tumegoja ndio tupate. Na sasa watu ni wengi, tunaomba serikali izidi kuongezea juu watu ni wengi ndio tupate sisi zote.
Watu walikuja poreni huko saa 5 usiku ndio wapate form the following day saa 10 ambao tulianza kazi. Na hata hapa tulipata watu hapa saa 8, wengine wakakuja saa 9, lakini kazi ya kuwapatia fomu tulianza saa 10 kasoro dakika 15. Na ukiangalia nyuma yangu sasa ni saa 7, sasa tumepatia watu zaidi ya 5,000, lakini bado ni wengi na tutaendelea kufanya hivyo kwa sababu hiyo ni kazi yetu. Hii sasa itakuwa wadi ya 3. Hata tukimaliza hapa kuna wadi zingine zimebaki 5. Kwa hivyo biashara hii ya kupatiana fomu itaendelea mpaka mwishoni mwa wiki, na ni changamoto kubwa kwetu, na kama vile mnajua mbunge anatakiwa kusimamia watu 1,163, lakini hapa nimesema tumesimamia watu 1,700.
All right, various groups have joined hands to ensure that they strengthen road safety, especially during this Easter season. These groups include Northern Corridor, NTSA, Kenya Transporters Association, and others. And this has come after it emerged that many accidents are caused by drivers' negligence.
The National Police Service and other agencies, KTA, who are involved in the sensitization. And our aim for this sensitization is to ensure that our drivers, we keep reminding them that they need to observe the traffic laws and regulations. They should
wafikirie ile madriver hawa masafa marefu wanaweza kuwa wanaenda wanapumzika njiani.
Right, and bit of apologies in relation to that. Now, Busia County Woman Representative Catherine Omanyo is urging the National Assembly to increase the allocation of Affirmative Action Fund kitty for effective results. Speaking in Matayo Sub-County in Busia during issuance of Affirmative Action Fund checks, Omanyi said that following the abject poverty from the country, the current allocation of the 2 million shillings cannot cater for the vulnerable families. Catherine says she will lobby her colleagues and sponsor a motion in Parliament so that the national government can increase the allocation. More than 700 students from universities, colleges and high schools across the county have benefited from the Affirmative Action Fund.
Serikali ingekuwa inaangalia marginalized areas. Busia iko among the marginalized areas, 83% poverty stricken. Naomba sana kusikue na ile ugatuzi yenye iko na upofu. Tunataka ugatuzi ifikie wale ambao wamefinyika zaidi. Sisi tuko katika ile mrengo wa hali mahututi, watu maskini, wale ambao wamejulikana dunia yote. Ukienda United Nations tumeandikwa Busia tuko namba 4 kwa umaskini Kenya. Kwa hivyo kwa sababu ya hiyo, mtu akiwa na elimu anaweza jifikiriria kuliko wale wenye at least hawana elimu. So tunataka county kama Busia tupewe hata 3 times so that tufikie kila mtu. Mimi utembea kule mashirani mimi mwenyewe. Natoa viatu, natembea na rabas. Napata mama wengi wazee wamekulwa na dudu, waezi tembea, hakuna mtu anaweza andika mtu kama huyo.